All right, let's talk about pirates. But I mean the real pirates. We're going to pull back the curtain on the legends and meet the actual people who ruled the waves during the golden age of piracy. And believe me, their true stories are way wilder than any movie.
So when you picture a pirate's life, what comes to mind? Is it mountains of gold and thrilling adventures? Or was it something darker? That's the big question, right? Gold, glory, or, more often than not, a really nasty end. Let's find out.
So we're zooming in on a very specific time here, the golden age of piracy. This wasn't some long, drawn-out thing. It was actually a pretty short, intense period, like a flash in the pan, where suddenly the oceans were swarming with thousands of pirates. They became the most feared people on the water.
And when I say it was a short period, I mean it. Take a look at this timeline. The entire careers of guys you've definitely heard of, like Captain Kidd and Blackbeard, all happened in the space of about 20 years. A pirate's life was fast and furious, and as you can probably guess, it usually didn't last too long.
Okay, so who were the superstars of this era? Let's meet the absolute legends, the pirates whose names were enough to make sailors tremble. These were the most wanted criminals on the planet.
You can't start a list of famous pirates without him. Edward Teach, better known as Blackbeard. This guy was a genius when it came to his image. His entire reputation was built on one thing: pure, absolute terror. So how did he do it? How did he become so scary? Well, get this. Right before a battle, he literally lit fuses into his giant black beard. So when he charged onto another ship, he'd be surrounded by smoke and sparks. Can you even imagine seeing that coming at you? No wonder people thought he was the devil himself.
But while Blackbeard was all about the scary image, our next guy, Bartholomew Roberts, or Black Bart, he was all about the results. Forget scary, this guy was successful. We're talking about the most successful pirate of the entire Golden Age, capturing a mind-blowing 400 ships.
And here's the really weird thing about him. He was nothing like your typical pirate. While everyone else was getting drunk on rum and wearing dirty old clothes, Black Bart preferred to drink tea, and he always went into battle wearing his best clothes. We're talking fancy silks and a diamond necklace. He completely broke the mold.
Now, let's talk about the guy who pulled off what might be the single greatest heist in history, Henry Every. This one score made him a legend, and, overnight, the most wanted man on Earth.
Just look at that number. 600,000 pounds from one ship. In the 1690s, that was a truly insane amount of money. It'd be like hundreds of millions of dollars today. And the wildest part of his story? Henry Every just vanished. He and his crew took the treasure and were never caught. He's the one who actually got away with it.
You know, you might have a certain picture of who becomes a pirate, but the truth is, they came from all walks of life. Some of the most famous pirates from this time were people you would never, ever expect. Okay, you have got to hear about this guy, Stede Bonnet. He's maybe the strangest pirate who ever lived. Why? Because before he was a pirate, he was a super rich gentleman. He had a big house, a family, a comfortable life, and he just threw it all away to become a pirate. Nobody's really sure why.
Seriously, his story is just bizarre. I mean, look at this. The man had zero sailing experience. So what does he do? He just goes out and buys a pirate ship with his own money and hires a crew. And he even brought his personal library with him on the ship. It's one of history's great head-scratchers.
All right, next up is Calico Jack Rackham. Now, he wasn't the richest or the scariest pirate out there, but he is one of the most famous. And the reason for his fame, well, it wasn't really about him at all.
The reason we all remember Calico Jack is because of who was on his crew. He sailed with Anne Bonny and Mary Read, two of the toughest, most famous female pirates who ever lived. They totally proved that a pirate's life wasn't just a man's world.
Okay, so we've heard about the fame, the fortune, the adventure. It sounds pretty cool, right? But now we have to talk about the other side of the story, the harsh reality of being a pirate. And it's pretty grim.
The fact is, for all the freedom and excitement, the party didn't last long. The authorities were always hunting them down, and life at sea was incredibly dangerous. Most of these legendary pirates were only active for a couple of years before it all came crashing down.
And just take a look at how it ended for them. Blackbeard died in an incredibly bloody battle, shot 5 times and stabbed more than 20. Calico Jack, he was caught and hanged. Captain Kidd was put on trial and executed. Even the amazingly successful Black Bart couldn't escape his fate.
killed by a blast of cannon fire. The message was loud and clear. You could run, but you couldn't hide forever.
So, if their lives were so short and their ends were so brutal, why are we still talking about them hundreds of years later? What is it about pirates that we still find so fascinating?
Well, just think about the amazing cast of characters we've just met. You have the master of fear, Blackbeard, the stylish and successful professional, Bart Roberts, the one who pulled off the perfect crime, Henry Every, the absolute oddball gentleman, Stede Bonnet, and the captain with the history-making crew, Calico Jack. Their real lives were more incredible than fiction.
And that kind of leaves us with one big question, doesn't it? Who were these people, really? Were they just greedy, violent criminals? Or were they rebels, fighting back against a system that gave them no other choice? The truth is, it's complicated. And maybe that's why we can't forget them. What do you think?